Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the webinar today, 6 Habits of Successful Speakers. So Peter Dew is my name, public speaking trainer and coach, and my passion, my vision in life is to help people like yourselves find your voice, confidently and effectively share your messages and ideas through the spoken word. And here's the thing, your clients, your customers, your communities need to hear what you've got to say. Your knowledge, your experience, your expertise, your ability to educate is important. And one of the things I teach in all my workshops is that public speaking, the ability to present confidently and effectively and with influence, is in fact a skill. And like many skills, you need to do the work, you need to do the practice. And today's webinar, 6 Habits of Successful Speakers. And that can be 6 habits of successful trainers, 6 habits of successful facilitators, 6 habits of successful educators. Public speaking is a skill. You need to do the work. You can learn to be effective. So let's share with you some simple habits that if you do consistently, you'll be a superstar in terms of your ability to communicate effectively. So welcome everybody. How to participate, ask questions as we go, take notes, think and apply what I'm saying to your own situation. Are you going to change something? Are you going to do something differently as a result of this webinar? One of the mistakes people do is they look at stuff, they go to workshops, they take notes, but they don't change anything. So how are you going to prepare? What are you going to do as a result of this webinar to help you be more effective and more confident and more influential in your public speaking? Step 1. Great speakers, they do exceptional preparation. And there's a quote by Robert Schuller, spectacular performance is preceded by spectacular preparation. So those people that seem to do really well in their public speaking, job interviews, the way they answer questions, don't assume they're just naturally gifted. It's probably that they've done really good preparation. There's a lot happening on television at the moment with updates around the current coronavirus. And you're seeing those health experts, those politicians that do really well, and those that struggle a little bit. And it varies from press conference to press conference. And one of the things you can see when they're well prepared. So know your audience, who's in the room, who's going to be there. What do they want from you? What's their problem? Are there any cultural nuances you need to be aware of? Do you need to acknowledge the traditional landowners? Know your venue. Know the equipment in the venue. What if the room's too hot? Can you turn down the air conditioning? Can you dim the light? Can you turn the lights down should you be doing a video or a PowerPoint presentation? Know your topic really well. Let's say you have to present in a shortened time. You did have 45 minutes, but now they want you to do it in 30 minutes. Can you deliver the same content, the same topic with 15 minutes less time? Can you extend? The speaker maybe doesn't turn up before you. Are you able to stretch your content to fill a void to help out the conference organizer? Know your topic really well. The term or the metaphor I use here is make sure you can plug and play. Part of knowing your audience and knowing your topic is know the issues and the emotions around your topic. Are you delivering bad news? Are you talking about downsizing? Are you talking about restructuring? In this current climate, you can imagine some of the emotions and the experiences that people will be feeling as leaders, managers deliver bad news. Knowing the issues and the emotions beforehand allow you to prepare and to respond in an authentic and an empathic way. If you just go about your message matter-of-factly without taking into account the audience's response, your customer's response, then you're going to come across as uncaring, and in reality you haven't done enough preparation. So do exceptional preparation. And there is that saying that you will have all heard before: prior preparation prevents pathetically poor performance. Applies to public speaking. The great speakers, the successful speakers, the exceptional trainers do a lot of preparation. Great speakers speak extemporaneously. That is, they don't read from a script. They don't necessarily use notes. When you use notes, when you read from your notes, what happens is you lose the ability to fully attend to your audience's needs. You lose the ability to be present, to be agile, to read the energy in the room, to see when people maybe are rejecting or against your point of view. You're missing the non-verbal cues that tells you to soften your approach. That maybe people are falling asleep and it's time to do something to inject energy back into the room. When you read from your notes a script, you're probably not well enough prepared. So the great speakers know their material and they speak extemporaneously. Extemporaneously doesn't mean spontaneously. It doesn't mean off the cuff. Let's do an impromptu 1 hour keynote. It means they know their material well enough to speak without notes. They haven't learnt their speech off by heart, so written it out and then memorized it. That's not what speaking extemporaneously is. Speaking extemporaneously is allowing you to go where the audience needs to go. You know your core message, you know your 3 or 4 points, you've got the stories, the anecdotes, the case studies that you're going to share, and you're just going to speak it as it comes extemporaneously. And it means you won't be perfect. It means you may make a few mistakes. You may have to pause a little bit for the words to come. But that helps you become authentic, it helps you become genuine, it helps you become real. This webinar is delivered extemporaneously. I have no cheat sheet, I have no notes. I have my 6 points and I talk about those points. I've got my examples. I've got a few quotes that I can remember, and whatever happens today happens. Now, I'm not saying don't have notes, so you may have notes with you and you may need to refer to them every now and then. Maybe you've got some specifically complex data or statistics that you just cannot remember. So let me share with you the latest update on such and such. Just give me one moment. And you refer to those statistics or those data. Perhaps I can't remember the quote. Now, I love this quote from Robert Schuller. A spectacular performance is preceded by spectacular preparation. Now, I do know that quote, so I didn't need to read it. It's one of those ones I remember. So when you speak extemporaneously, you're fully available, you're fully present to attend to the needs of the audience. Their energy, their nonverbal cues, their rolling of their eyes, their shaking of their head when they disagree, their nodding, giving you permission to move on. When you take the risk to go up before an audience without your notes, you'll have a great change. You'll have a paradigm shift. It'll be scary the first few times, but gradually you'll learn to trust yourself. Answer number 3. Great speakers, exceptional speakers, always put the audience first. And it's not about me, the speaker. It's not about me, the trainer. It's not about you, the speaker, or you, the trainer. It is about you, the audience. So, always ask yourself and come from this position, why does the audience care about what you're sharing with them? Why do they care? If they don't care, if it's irrelevant, then you're giving the wrong message to the wrong audience. And that is one of the biggest mistakes that speakers make, and miscommunication. You have an audience there that's expecting this is what they want, and the speaker delivers this, and there's a mismatch in communication. Why does the audience care? If they don't care, then you're giving the wrong message. What's in it for them? Most audiences are, and this may sound unfair, most audiences are selfish. So you here listening to the webinar, you are here out of self-interest. You want to learn from me. You want to take my knowledge, my information to help you be more effective as a speaker, as a trainer, as a facilitator. So if you cater to what the audience wants, and you answer that question, what's in it for them, which is why do they care, then the audience will understand it's about them, not about you. If you tell stories, and you should tell stories, make the audience the hero of the story. Make the audience feel like they can do this. They can see light at the end of the tunnel. They can now see a way forward. Empower your audience. Give them the skills, the knowledge, the belief that they can make a difference in their communities, in their worlds. Always put the audience first. One of the things I teach in my speaking off the cuff is your elevator pitch. So this is the 30 seconds you say to the question, so what do you do? So what do you do, Peter? So what do you do, Stephen? What do you do, Sarah? In the response, most people come back with I do this, I am this, I have been doing it for this long, and I have this many qualifications, and I am very good. With your elevator pitch, put the audience first as well. Reduce the I's and increase the you and the yours. For example, let me do the I first. I am a public speaking trainer and coach, and I have been doing this for 10 years. I specialise in giving people the skills to overcome their fear of public speaking. I am one of Australia's #1 public speaking trainers. I am also a CSP and I have an MBA. That's putting me at the center of my elevator pitch. Let me flip it. So you know how many people hate public speaking and many people struggle and get nervous with public speaking. What I do is I help you find your voice so that you can make the impact to your audiences, to your communities, and you can educate, influence, and make the changes that you want to happen. If I can help you in any way, please let me know. See how one was about me and the second one was about you. So great speakers put the audience first. What's in it for them? Why do they care? Great speakers, effective speakers, they come away from the lectern, or they remove any barriers between the audience and themselves. This means the lectern, this means a table, a podium, a desk. They have the courage to be dead center in the middle of the room with no barriers. Now this is scary. And if you have notes that you need to read from, and if you have cheat sheets that are on the lectern, it makes it even more scarier. So remember, tip 1 is to speak. Maybe tip 2, speak extemporaneously, speak without notes. When you come away from the lectern, as you see me there speaking to a group of ECU students, there's no barriers between me and the audience. And whether I like it or not, they can see all of me. My bald head, my big nose, my pimples, my warts, my imperfections. They see all of it. There's nowhere to hide. And what that means is that I'm prepared to give you 100%, all of my energy, all of my attention. When you walk behind the lectern and you put a barrier between you and the audience, you're kind of saying, I don't trust you. I'm not prepared to give you 100%. I'm going to stay behind here because I'm self-conscious. I want to feel safe. When you walk out from behind the lectern, it does feel risky. It does feel exposed. But here's the thing. I think that you, the audience, I think you're worth it. I think you are worth me giving you 100% of my energy, 100% of my efforts. So it takes courage, but do come out from behind the lectern. I can leave my notes behind the lectern. I can always go back and look at the statistics or the quotes. Some people say, but I'm going to cause shadow puppets in the PowerPoint slides. You can bring a PowerPoint slide down. You just hit B for black. Let me show you on your computer keyboard. So walk back over to the lectern and just hit B. That's what I've done now. You've lost your PowerPoint slide. I can now walk in the middle of the room. There's no shadow puppets. There's no light shining in my eyes. I've got a black screen. Go back to the podium, back to the laptop, hit B. Now I can stand off to the side so people can still see the screen. So because you're PowerPoint or data projecting, showing a video, showing slides is not a reason not to stand in the middle of the room and get away from the lectern. The 5th tip, they are passionate, excited about their topic. They're pleased to be there. They're not just going through the motion, all right, here's another class that I need to teach public speaking to. I'll get through this as quick as I can. You need to tap into that passion. If you don't believe, if you're not congruent, if you're not energized by your own message, then people will not buy your message. You've got to let the passion come through. Here's the saying or the metaphor I use. The first sale, you are selling information, you're selling knowledge, you're selling hope, you're selling a new way of doing things. The first sale must be to yourself. If you don't believe your own message, people will detect, they will understand that you're not congruent with your own message, and they will reject or are less likely to adopt your message. So make sure you let the passion, the excitement, and it might be a pre-start meeting on a mine site at 6 a.m. in the morning. How do you get excited and passionate about that? Well, you need to. If you want to have impact, you need to. And number 6, they believe 100% in their own message. Conviction in your message, this is in your body language, in what you do, in the passion that I've just spoke about. The first sale to yourself, you are selling knowledge, you're selling information. Public speaking is marketing, training is marketing. When you educate people, you're marketing an idea, you're marketing an information. You're trying to get people to buy your knowledge, not necessarily for money, but so please be congruent. And your actions and your life need to be congruent. So you need to be congruent on stage and off stage. You need to be congruent before the presentation. You need to be congruent after the presentation. If people see that you're blogging or you're Facebook posting in contradiction to a message you've just shared at a workshop or a seminar, then they won't believe you. So this is consistency. Consistency builds trust. Consistency of message, consistency of behavior, consistency of action, consistency of non-verbal communication. I'm happy to be here. My voice. Consistency leads to trust. Inconsistency breeds distrust. And a bonus tip. Great speakers, consistent communicators have a clear outcome or goal in mind for their audience. It's a purpose-driven presentation. The reverse of this is what I call scattergun approach, sometimes referred to as spray and pray. They don't have that consistent message. My consistent message is that public speaking is a skill that we can all learn. You need to develop habits. You need to practice the techniques. You need to do public speaking. But it doesn't matter if you don't enjoy public speaking. It doesn't matter if you're not a naturally gifted public speaker. The good news is it's a skill that you can learn. Today I'm sharing with you 6 habits, plus a bonus tip, 7 habits that good speakers, great speakers do. So a purpose-driven conversation. Clarity of purpose. You're clear of why you're having this conversation. By clarity of purpose, I mean you know what your message is and you know why it matters to the audience. You have clear outcomes. You're clear on what you want the audience to do next. What do you want the audience to think, to feel, to do? What knowledge do you want them to have after you've spoken? What emotions, what feelings do you want them to generate? What action, what behavior do you want to occur afterwards? Because if you're not clear on that, anything you do will create any sort of outcome, and it doesn't matter. Make sure your message is unequivocal, on message, can't be misinterpreted, not open to interpretation, not scattergun. Have a clear, purpose-driven presentation. So these are the tips, the habits that successful speakers do. They do exceptional preparation. They speak extemporaneously. They don't rely on notes. They let it come and their discussion and their mind flow. It's a little bit organic, anchored by their key points. They always put the audience first. It's about the audience. It's not about me. It's about you and your journey and me helping you achieve what you want to achieve. They come away from the lectern or any other barriers, the podium, the tables. They're passionate and excited about their topic. They're passionate and excited to be there. They're pleased to be there. They want to be there. And they believe 100% in their own message. They're congruent. They're invested in their message. And the bonus tip, they have clarity of purpose. You know how to reach me? Send me an email if you have any questions. My website, corporatecommunicationexperts.com.au. My video, bit.ly/PeterDew. I've recorded this webinar if you have any questions, and I look forward to speaking to you on the next webinar. But which of these habits do you need to do more of? What are you going to do to be a more effective and more confident speaker, trainer, or facilitator? Get into the habit of doing your preparation. Get into the habit of speaking without notes. Get in the habit of focusing on what your audience needs are. Get in the habit of getting away from the lectern. Be passionate and excited, and get in the habit of being clear around your own message. This is Peter Dew. Bye for now.